In this video, we will be checking out the license and support structure. Yes, this is one of the most boring topic within this series, and I'm not even sure that it's actually part of the CCSA. But it's important to understand how it works, the structure of it. Previously, everything has been mostly has been perpetual, but the industry is going over to subscription based. This is a different discussion, but when it comes to Checkpoint in general, you either have appliances. All vendors has appliances, more or less all vendors has appliances at least. Then you can also have software based, and this can be for the public or private cloud. But Checkpoint also offers something called they call it software on open servers. So we will be covering all of these, not in great detail, but just so you get an overview and understanding of it. So when you figure out what sort of appliance that you need, and to figure out what sort of appliance that you need, yes, you're checking on cost, but you also have throughput, what sort of functions. There is a tool that partners can use to check what does Checkpoint recommend you for size of an appliance. But even when you have decided what sort of appliance that you need, there are options. So here we have a 16200. There are two models of this 16200. And this is okay, do you want redundant storage? Do you want redundant power supplies? Do you need additional transceivers? So this is different for all appliances, what is included and so on. So it's important to check what is included and what is the options. My recommendation when it comes to buying appliances, buying appliances in general, always buy them with redundant power supplies, always buy them with redundant disks, so you don't... It's troublesome to get downtime, it's troublesome to do, let's say verification of powers, redundancy test in a data center if you only have one power supply. So I would say it's always worth it to have redundant power supplies, to redundant disk. It will save you in the long run. Yes, if you have a really small, tiny office, maybe it's not worth it. On top of this hardware-based things, you can add additional functionalities. So in this case, this is virtual systems. This is virtualization of firewalls. You can add additional instances on the same firewall hardware to run virtualized firewalls. All sort of appliances also come with some note for licenses instructions. So if we check here, for example, we see that Plus models include 5 virtual systems. So if you know that you're actually going to run virtualization, maybe it's worth it to go for the Plus model right away, because then you have 5 virtual systems. And the biggest note when it comes to appliances is that the licenses are attached to the physical hardware itself. You cannot move the license to new hardware. So this is an important consideration. The second option when it comes to security gateways is to run it in software based. So this is when you have software that you install on open servers, meaning a standard like Dell, HP, Cisco server. Yes, the box need to be included within the HCL, and they are not updated super often, so you really need to check and make sure that you purchase a box from the HCL. So the licenses themselves, they are based on cores. So in this case, you can buy licenses from 2 to 72 cores. And all cores are counted. So if you enable, and it's enabled by default, hyperthreading, these hyperthreading cores will count against the license. So my recommendation for open servers is to turn off hyperthreading, because the real cores have better performance. Hyperthreading was not even supported before, but is supported now, but it uses licenses. Same with open servers. You can add additional products, in this case virtual systems. I would say the greatest benefit when it comes to open servers and software based is if we check the licensing structure. So first of all, let's say that we purchase a box and we have 8 cores. If you need additional performance, it's not possible to add additional core licenses to this software. So if you would need additional performance, then you need to consider like, okay, should I replace the box with a new faster one? Because compared to the appliances, when it comes to open servers, you can transfer the licenses between different hardware. So let's say that you buy this 8-core license, put it on a box, and after 3 years, you decide, I need more performance, I need to upgrade this. Well, you can purchase a new server and move the license to the new server. It's still 8 cores, but for 3 years, you have gained the performance increase of, well, how fast Intel is developing their CPUs. One more thing when it comes to software, if we check here, secondary gateway container for high availability or load sharing are available for 20% discount. So if you, for example, run VSX with VSLS, and let's say you have 4 nodes, the 3 additional nodes after the first one are 20% cheaper, even that you run full production traffic on this one. So there are benefits of using this sort of licenses. I think the greatest benefit is that you can transfer the license to new hardware. So the license itself is perpetual, and then you add services like functions, and then you add support. When it comes to both appliances and open servers, or software based, so to say, you need to decide right away what sort of blades do you want to include in the purchase. So you can decide to purchase it with firewall only, or NGTP or NGTT with Sandblast. So what you should consider here is that the first year you actually get all the functions included. So when you purchase an appliance or a software license, you get all the features for 1 year so you can test them out, and then you can decide. But as always, it's always beneficial if you already know that you want to have all these functions for 3 years to purchase it right away, because then you get a larger discount. So to see what sort of like functions are included within these packages, you can check the NGFV, the NGTP, and the Sandblast one. So you need to check like, okay, do I need IPS or do I want URL filtering? So it really depends on where this box is going to be placed. And NGFV is the smallest packet that is possible to buy. So this already include like identity awareness and application control and IPS. So as you see here, there are already a lot of functions within the NGFV. So if you go for NGTP, yes, you get additional things. So for example, anti-bot, that's a really nice blade, and the new DNS security requires NGTP. So if you have something facing the internet and web surfing, etc., yes, NGTP is a good way to go. Sandblast one, you need to check like, okay, is, for example, if you're running VSX, is this even supported? It has not been supported before. I'm not aware how it is today. And just as a side note, you can change this, so you don't need to decide this from start. So you can purchase a box with NGFV and then upgrade to NGTP later on. It's fully possible. The third option when it comes to gateways is to run it in cloud. So then we have the CloudGuard. Previously it was called VSec, and currently the CloudGuard is only subscription based, meaning you pay per year. So you cannot purchase it and then just add support, because this is something that you need to, this is subscription based. So the benefit of using this CloudGuard is that the licenses themselves, they are transferable between all the different clouds. So you see here that we have like Azure, Huawei, Alibaba, Gmail, etc. Not Gmail, G-Cloud, Nutanix, AWS, Azure. So these licenses, they can be moved or transferred between different clouds. They are the same license, and they come in two different flavors, either NGTP or NGTX, and you can check what is included in all of them. So if we see here the license instruction for this one. So these licenses are core based. So you need one license per core within the machine that you're running it on. So yes, you can run this as a virtual machine on-prem in VMware, or you can run it in Azure if you want to. And then the core count need to match the licensing. And here you have the license within a pool. So you can actually auto scale. And you can add or remove licenses if you want to. You can transfer them between machines if you need to as well. And to know how many cores that you need, you of course need to check like the technical specification. So if you want to be able to run like 1.5 gigs within Azure, you need a D2. And this is for a single gateway. If you want to have redundancy, you need to have two of these machines and then put them in HA. So this is something that you need to check, and then you need to check like, okay, the D2 version 2, how many CPU cores does that actually use? And it's the same for AWS or all the other different public clouds. When it comes to Checkpoint, we know that we can control multiple gateways from the same management station. And the management stations, we have the same options that we can run it within public cloud as a service. So Smart One is a full service from Checkpoint. Or you can run it as appliances, or you can run it software based on either physical hardware or within like your hypervisor. So if we start with the cloud service, the Smart One Cloud, we need to decide what sort of size of management server do we want to run, and what sort of functions that do we want to have in this management server. So the options are like normal, just control the gateways, or to have a smart event, or to add compliance as well. And then you can pay this monthly or yearly, it depends on you. As it is a service, you pay for the storage as well. And you can add additional storage if you want to. And the benefit of this one is that it's really, Checkpoint take care of all the upgrades. So you just need to run the data, so to say. So you need to control the rule base, but Checkpoint take care of like hot fixes, upgrades, and all of that things. So this could be really good if you're fine that your data is in a public cloud. So this doesn't work for everyone, and also your gateways need to be able to reach the internet. There are many reasons why a gateway need to reach the internet, but some maybe don't have the luxury or the possibility for everything to be able to reach the internet, and then this sort of service can be hard. But this is the service that Checkpoint is really pushing for, and they're adding more and more functionalities, and I guess a lot of customers is asking for it. Then we have the second option for management servers, and this is, I don't really recommend this. And this is to run with physical appliances for management servers. So the reason why I don't recommend this is you need to know from start how much performance do I need. So it's hard to add like additional storage or memory or things like that. So I think that for appliances purposes, you really need to have like specific need to run the management server on an appliance. I understand gateways. There can be a lot of benefits of running it in appliances because you have more functionalities. But when it comes to management itself, the only benefit that I see for having it in a physical appliance is that you not need to have any dependency on another department running your hypervisor. Other than that, I don't really see any benefit of this. If you think so, comment below. So my recommendation, if you want to have it on-prem, is to run the management server software-based. So then you can install this on physical hardware if you want to have dedicated performance, or you run it in a hypervisor such as VMware or Nutanix or Hyper-V or whatever you have. It needs to be compliant with what Checkpoint, it needs to be compliant and supported, and that you can check in the hardware compatibility or capability list. Yeah, the HCL. So when it comes to management servers in general, the first thing that you need to consider is like, okay, how many gateways? That's the first step. And when you have decided what sort of gateways and so on, you need to decide like, okay, what sort of management server is this? Is this a management server? Is this a log server? Is this a smart event? Yes, you can run all the functionalities within the same box. It's fully possible. And you can add more things to your management package, so you can run like virtualization to have multiple different management stations. If you want to have, for example, as an MSP, you want to have one customer has one management server themselves, so you can have separation. And if you have a small environment, you don't need to think so much about this. But when you have large environments, you will need to separate your log servers from your management station. So you need multiple servers, and then you need multiple licenses. So licenses is something that you need to figure it out, and Checkpoint will of course help you, or your partner will of course help you. Then we have support. So when you have decided what sort of gateways, management servers that you want to have, you need to figure out like, okay, what sort of support do I need? So there are two flavors. So first of all, we have direct support, and this is something that is provided from Checkpoint directly. So then you can open cases to Checkpoint and get help from Checkpoint. And then there are collaborative. And with collaborative, it means like you can purchase, or I think that Checkpoint doesn't sell anything directly except support, but you purchase your solution from a partner, and you can get your support from this partner as well. This is called collaborative support. And this can be really beneficial because then you can have the same language. They can be local within your country. They can be local within your city even. And the different partners, they have of course different levels depending on requirements that they fulfill. So when you have a partner program, if you want to reach a specific level, first of all, you need to have like a number of certified staff so you can like handle this solution. You need to have like a 24/7 support with NOC surveillance, and you need to sell products and services for a specific number of $US per year to be able to reach this partner level. And after you have decided to like, okay, should I have support directly from Checkpoint or from a partner, then it's the support level. So this means like, when are you as a customer expected to get help if something needs to be escalated to Checkpoint? So for example, if you buy collaborative support, the partner themselves can still offer you 24/7 support because it's part of a bigger environment. But the partner itself, if you and the partner decide to go for a standard, the partner will not get help from Checkpoint outside the business hours. So you can still work with like the issues or troubleshoot, etc. But you cannot put in, you can put in a ticket to Checkpoint, but they will not start to work on it outside your support contract. So if something needs to be escalated to R&D or whatever, they will look on it the day after. So if you have something that is really important, the premium support is the recommended one because it's 24/7 and it's fast response times and so on. You can actually add additional support on top of this as well. So you can have something called Pro Support. This is when it's more a proactive support, meaning Checkpoint will monitor certain metrics of your environment and create cases and fix things proactively on your behalf. And when it comes to appliances, you can actually have on-site support as well. Honestly, there is actually even more than just the standard, premium, and elite. There is something called diamond support. So diamond support is, well, you have a dedicated technician at Checkpoint to help you. So the diamond support agreement is to be a proactive collaboration between you as a customer and Checkpoint. So this include like on-site days, training. So there are a lot more things when it comes to diamond. And if you want to check more of this, you should check Checkpoint support website for support plans. So just to recap this. So management servers are sold as a service, or you can run it software-based, or you can have it as appliance. This is what sort of type of management server do you want to have or need to have? What sort of functions do you need to have? Does it need to be separated? How many gateways are you controlling? What size or performance when it comes to like logs? I mean, do you need 2 terabytes or 48 terabytes of log? How much do you need? And what support level are you expecting from your partner or from Checkpoint themselves? How often or how late are you supposed to call them, so to say? And when it comes to the gateways, it's the same. And of course, you can have one set of management servers and you can have different set of gateways depending on where the gateway will be located. So you can mix and match all of this. So you can have one management station that is controlling both things in the public cloud, on-prem, either on appliances or software, so it doesn't matter. And you can change support agreement and functions, but it's on a yearly basis. So maybe you can buy it actually a shorter period of time, but I would say on a yearly basis. You purchase a function such as IPS or application control or anti-bot or whatever on a yearly basis. And it's packages within packages, so it's easy for you as a customer to decide what to go for. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next one. Take care.